Bijan, I will just give the indication that we can start. Okay, we can start, I guess. Yeah, Bijan.
Okay, thank you, Monale. My dear fellow linguists, senior linguists, ladies and gentlemen, and the scholars, students, a very good evening to all. I, on behalf of TiBLANEI, welcome you to the second edition of Students Presentation Series. Today, we have two scholars, and the first scholar is Priya Dev-Burma from Tripura University, and she's going to give a presentation on compounding a process of word formation in Kokborok. And the second scholar is from IIT New Delhi, Sagar Boro, and he's going to give a presentation on the topic Forms and the Properties of Boro Expressives, a preliminary study. Yeah, to begin with the presentation, I would like to invite and request Dr. Bobita Sorangthem, Assistant Professor, Behrampur University and Treasurer of our TiBLANEI, to kindly chair the session. So over to you, Dr. Bobita.
Thank you, Dr. Bijan Kumar. Before we start, let me just specify that 20 minutes will be available for the presenters and 10 minutes for discussion. So speakers should ensure that they can complete their presentation within the designated time. So without further ado, I would like to invite Priya Dev-Burma to present your paper, and your topic is on compounding a process of word formation in Kokborok. So Priya, are you ready now? Yes. Is she here?
Priya is here. She just updated to me that she has issues with her screen, so she will send the PPT to Bijan. Just a little inconvenience. I think we'll have to swipe, and maybe by the time we can figure it out, Sagar can go ahead if he's ready.
Okay.
Then I would like to invite Sagar to present your paper. Sagar's topic is on forms and properties of Boro expressive, a preliminary study. Yes, Sagar, you may start your presentation.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for to the organizers for giving me this opportunity to present today. The topic that I'll be presenting today is forms and properties of Bodo expressives, a preliminary study. So introduction, what are expressives? They are non-arbitrary word forms. There is a close resemblance between the form and the meaning that evoke sensations of sound, movement, smell, shape, texture, feeling, or emotion. And in the literature, idiophones are known by various terms. In the African and East Asian linguistics, it is known by the term idiophones. And then in the Japanese linguistics, it is known by the term as mimetics. So one of the defining characteristics of this so-called expressives is its iconicity. There's a very strong link between the form, the word form, and the meaning. And then they are used to express the sensory perceptions, as I have mentioned, sound, movement, smell, shape, texture, feeling, etc. And although not all expressives, a huge amount of them are onomatopoeic in nature. That is, the words are in a way imitation of the sound they are used to describe. Sometimes the source can be animal sounds, sometimes it can be sounds created by the humans or by inanimate objects. And another interesting feature of idiophone is the reduplication. And there are two types of reduplication in general. There is morphological reduplication and there is lexical reduplication. So most of the expressives, they occur in the morphological reduplication. So here is an example of An expressive in Japanese, pika pika, which means sparkling, and the semantic domain it is used to convey, depict is the visual pattern. Another example that we have doki doki, which means heart racing. Again, it is used to, the semantic domain is the feeling. So there's this popular character in anime called Pikachu, and then the name of Pikachu is actually derived from the Japanese expressives pika pika, which means sparkling. The term expressive was first coined by Deflot to describe a unique class of words that did not fit neatly into the traditional linguistic categories. These words, he noted, often had a direct relationship between their sound and the meaning. And Doki 1935, he used the term idiophone. So according to him, an idiophone is a vivid representation of an idea in sound. A word, often onomatopoeic, describes a predicate qualificative or adverb in respect of manner, color, smell, action, state, or intensity. And Dingman say 2019, according to him, the definition he gave for an idiophone is an open lexical class of marked words that depict sensory imagery. So markedness is a very important feature of expressives. They can be marked at various levels, whether it is phonological or morphological or syntactic. As I've mentioned before, most of the idiophones, they fall under the category of morphological reduplication. So it is a kind of markedness here. And what is a morphological reduplication? Here, they are usually composed of two identical or similar units, and as opposed to an usual reduplication where there is a base which has a lexical meaning. Here in morphological reduplication, there is no base, and they cannot be divided into smaller parts. Like pika pika cannot be divided into pika, or another example, doki doki cannot be divided into doki. So both of them have equal meaning, and then together they form a single lexical word. And so majority of expressives fall under this category. Now, in this study, I have not included some words under the expressive category. Generally, expressive is very inclusive. It includes all kinds of onomatopoeic words as well. But here I have not included animal calls because most of the animal calls, such as kaka or bow bow of a dog or kaka of a crow, they usually they are not that complex, and they are not also used for depicting our perceptions as such. Here I have also not included onomatopoeic nouns or verbs. Like in English, we have cuckoo. The bird cuckoo, its name, it comes from the sound it makes. So it's a noun, then splash, rush, zoom, boom, swift. These are the examples of verbs in English that are onomatopoeic in nature. I have not included them. So in Bodo, there is this word called kawo, which means the bird cuckoo. And again, it is an onomatopoeia. And then there are a few limited verbs that are onomatopoeic in origin, like the verb gorot, which means to snore. So I have not included them. And then word formations are not expressives. B2018 there she specifically mentioned that eco-formation is a different kind of reduplication. It falls under the lexical reduplication, but a base word, which is a lexical word with its own independent meaning, is reduplicated. And then the reduplication includes a very specific pattern. That is, there is a specific sound segment, either a consonant or a vowel or a syllable, which is always used, which is fixed in a particular language, which is used for the eco-formation. Like in Hindi, there is khana bana, ghar bar, pesa vesa. So verse sound is fixed in Hindi. It is used in all kinds of eco word formations. And semantically also, they are different. They are not used to express the sensory perceptions. And so I have not included the eco word formation. Expressives in Indian subcontinent. According to Anvita B, it is one of the prime areal features of the South Asia as a linguistic area. And they are used to represent the 5 senses of perception, various states of mind, manner of action, as well as various states of confusion. So expressives in Indian languages, expressives behave and function like any other words, and thus form a part of the lexicons of Indian languages. Unlike many other languages of the world, expressives in Indian languages can form the predicates. Some of the examples of expressives in Indian subcontinent. So from Hindi, I've given the example of kurkur, which means the sound of breaking a crisp object. So the most popular Indian snack kurkure, it gets its name from the expressive kurkur. And then tap tap tap, which is the sound of dropping water. In Bangla, some examples are like jiri jiri, the sound of wind or breeze blowing gently, or of drizzling rain. Jhak jhak, which is brightness or shining. And then Solega, it is one of the Dravidian languages spoken in the Nilgiri hills. An example, gara gara, which means rumbling noise. And then specifically in the Indo-Aryan languages, idiophones, they are composed of the root, say, par, which is in most cases monosyllabic, but is semantically vacuous. It means it doesn't have a semantic meaning of its own. So it always has to be reduplicated, par par, only then it makes a meaning. So in this example, par par means flutter. And then from the bare form of idiophone, we can derive an infinitive form like parparana. And interestingly, in Indo-Aryan languages, verbs can be derived from the expressives, parparaya, parparata, and then nouns can also be derived from the expressives, parparahat. So here is an example. Use dekhte hi man thartharaya. Tharthar is the expressives used for shivering. So thartharaya, it is a finite verb used here, which has been suffixed with the with aya. So this is the characteristics of expressives in general in India in general. So in previous works in Bodo, which touch upon the words that fall under expressives, in descriptive analysis of Bodo language, although expressives is not separately mentioned, a few examples of expressive words, they can be seen under the category of adjectives, adverbs, onomatopoeia, or reduplication. Likewise, in modern Bodo grammar and introduction to Bodo phonology, some words have been shown under the category of reduplication or onomatopoeia. And among the previous works in Bodo, one of them that has a more detailed list of these words is by Reitun Bodo, 2014. So there he has his work was on reduplication process in Bodo. So reduplication can be found in nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs. There is complete reduplication like no, house, used for distributive purpose. And then there is partial reduplication like guzu. There is also eco formation, bosla tosla. So that fixed segment which is used for eco formation in Bodo is either th sound or so sound. And then Bodo also has onomatopoeia, as I've given an example before, kuwo, which is the word for kukubar. And then there are onomatopoeias like zrau, which is the rustling noise caused by leaves. And then the book has also, his unpublished PhD research has also given few examples of morphological reduplication like siu, where siu alone does not make any sense. It has to be uttered together always, siu, which means pleasant breeze. And then ziri, which is pleasant flowing of water. Another interesting work, which is kind of related to the phenomenon known as expressives, is the adverbial suffix in Bodo. Although not all adverbial suffixes are related to idiophones, a few of them, especially under the category of adverbial suffixes which sound symbolic, they are in a way related to the phenomenon called expressives, especially the last one in this list, zrau, sound like rustling, like hitting with leaves. I'll be giving an example with this later on. So the research questions here, I'll be looking at what are the forms of idiophones in Bodo. Do they have any phonological peculiarities and their morphological properties, syllable structures, types of reduplication, and then their properties, like are they modifiers? What is their function? And does the type of reduplication affect their syntactic or semantic properties? And then I have, this work is approach from the perspective of documentation. It is a very important part of a language, but even then, these days, we can see that the use of idiophones or expressives has relatively decreased. If you ask the new generation kids, they might not be able to use, or they might not know how to use these expressives. That's why there's a need for documentation. And it will also contribute to the study of idiophones in general. And then in this preliminary study, I have just approached it in a synchronic way. And then I have used the data from secondary sources, such as novels, short stories, and also self-information as a native speaker. So Bodo expressives. One of the interesting features of Bodo expressives is the consonant clusters in the initial position. Usually in Bodo, this kind of consonant cluster cannot be found, whether in nouns or adverbs or any other words. So in the normal, the regular words, this kind of consonant cluster is not found, except for two cases. One is the discourse marker bra, and another is the numerical, the word for brain. So some of the, not all of the expressives have this characteristics. A few of them have. Here I have given the example. So consonant plus R cluster, we can have bra bra, which is persistently, or grum grum, large quantity at once, strai strai, clear flowing water, and then brang brang, pressure in a body part. And consonant plus L, sound, we have blah blah, which is going suddenly with force. And then we have blang blang, wide and exposed, blau blau, which is burning flames, clap clip, which is twinkling. So the syllable structures, we have both open and closed syllables. With syllabic examples like dao dao, to love someone intensely and endearingly, siu siu, the wheezing sound caused by wind or storm. And then lao lao, which is used to evoke the sensation of fluidity or liquidity. And then we have dram dram, which is used for extremely heavy, stormy condition. So raining cats and dogs. And then duk duk, which is used for fast heartbeat, heart racing. And then hop hop, which is used to evoke a sensation of humidity. And we also have quadrisyllabic expressives. Open syllables, we have mutter mutter, intensely, love. And then lepe lepe, squish, squishy substance, gole gole, now and then. We also have closed syllables, tipung tipung, the shortness of breath caused by exhaustion. Rotong rotong, overly exposed. Langlet langlet, it is used to evoke a sensation of manner of walking that causes swinging of body. And then the types of reduplication, we also have complete reduplication, which is found abundantly in the language, like how, which is used for extreme heat, de, sound asleep, and then goti, spending money consciously and judiciously. I've forgotten to write it there. And then gur, to evoke the sensation of stomach upset, ling, in a tall manner, and then kun, in a congested manner. We also have partial reduplication, lede, fed or obese, dumpapa, stoutly built, lantata, bald-headed, then pandang, broad and raised chest, and then baleng, small-waisted, dulur, rounded. And then the third kind of, after complete reduplication, partial reduplication, we come to the third kind of reduplication, which is segment-altered reduplication. I have called it segment-altered reduplication because here the entire segment, a syllable is not usually replaced. Just individual sound segments like consonant or vowel is replaced here. So the first example, bele beze, which is used to evoke the sensation of a puzzling manner. Here the second syllable is changed, bele beze, and then we have hakudaku, which is hurriedly. Here the first syllable is changed, haku, daku. And then hunga dunga, inconvenience caused by disturbance. Here also the first consonant is altered. And then we have examples like gudausrao, where all the consonants are changed. And then usukutu, again, where all the consonants are replaced. So restlessness caused by anxiety. And then we also have examples of altered vowel like clap, clip, just cling, cling. And then the first vowel, the vowel is changed here. Honkla, honkli, unevenly cut, where the second vowel is changed. And then pangpung, the vowel is changed. Tabro, tubro, again the first vowel is changed. Sibro, sibra, where the second vowel is changed. Then we also have a few examples of altered syllable, like usau badau, where the u syllable is replaced by ba, and then urang parang, again where the u syllable is replaced by pa. Now there are some expressives. I've written as idiophones here. So there are some expressives which.
Sorry to interrupt, Sagar. You have only 3 minutes left. Okay.
Oh.
That's okay.
Okay, so some of the expressives, they are derived from adjectives like kairam deiram, where gukkai or gudai, they are adjectives for sour and sweet. And then we have derived verb we have expressives derived from verb tipung tipung, where tipu means blister. And then daily daily, sluggishly, which comes from the noun day. So occurrence of expressives can be seen in conjunct verbs, like here gurgur and zakangbai. Za is the verb for occurrence or happening. So we can see them in conjunct verb as well. And then we can also see them with the say quotative. Row row nanai bahi langnai sormanga dima. So row row is the it evokes the sensation of a flowing river making a lot of noise. So the roaring Sormanga river. And then some of the expressives are verb modifier, like strat gumalangbai. The verb gumalai, to disappear, is being modified here. So strat is stiltily. Interestingly, in some cases, the position of idiophones can be scrambled because of relatively free word order. It can appear at the beginning, sometimes at the sentence final. And then as verb modifier, okay. And then we have noun modifier as well. Grum, grum, no bang, dong haye. So here no bang property is being modified, grum, grum. And then it can also occur in as a predicate. So the example 10, dasandi angni gusa usukututar. So usukututar is the predicate here. And then here also we have the same example. Gulam batani sandung ting ting karang katang. So ting ting and karang katang are the expressives. So having a predicate. They are forming a predicate. And then the semantics, they evoke visual pattern. Maybe I don't have time, so I'll just skip. And then they also evoked tactility, the touch sensations, like here sibro sibra, which is uneven surface. And then they are also used for feelings, psychological states, mutu mutu, which is loving endearingly. They are also used for various manner of action, state or condition or characteristics. And then those were the semantic categories, but sometimes some of them, they can be used for multiple semantic categories, like here ramai ramai has been used for visual pattern and as well as a kind of internal psychological state or psychological feeling, for remembrance, for memory. And then we can also observe a kind of resemblance between the sound and the meaning. So those expressives that are of segment altered expressives that begin with the I sound, I or A sound, they are used to express a kind of disturbance or fluctuation or chaotic situation. And also other expressives that fall into this category. And then there is a pattern that has been observed from this short study, that verb modifiers that the fully reduplicative expressives, they are more likely to be verb modifiers than noun modifiers. And then in the case of partial reduplication, they are more likely to be noun modifiers than verb modifiers. The examples given here are literally used as adjectives, personal attributives to describe a person. Yeah. And then we also have a few examples that are monosyllabic in nature, like glop, blanc, zrau. And in a way, they are related with the phenomenon called adverbial suffix. I will not have time to go about it in detail now. And then we also have dissyllabic ones. They are not reduplicated, like tholthop, zol, it should have been zoldop. And then putta or dupung, they don't undergo the process of morphological reduplication. So the limitations of this study, it is not conclusive since it is just a preliminary study, and then the data, the primary data is not there. So all the data has been taken from secondary sources. So if a study that includes primary data, audio recordings, narratives, or conversations, it will be rich. And then I have not looked into the prosodic features. It is said that in idiophones, they are also prosodically marked. Sometimes the stress may be different from the surrounding words in a sentence. So that I have not looked into, and then I have not taken the multimodal approach, which usually includes hand gestures and expressives as well, to give a holistic view of expressives in a language. So diachronic study has not also been included, so I have kept it as a subject to be dealt in future. So we can get a view of idiophones in Borogaro language, and then we can also look for cognates. Here is an example from the comparative phonology of Borogaro languages. Zrek, the protoform, and which is an adverb used to evoke the sensation of heavy rain. So it is found in Boro, Zeze, and then in Rabha also it is found, which is Zrek. I'm sure it could also be found in other Boro languages. This is just an example. There could be many other examples as well, which could be derived from the Proto-Borogaro. So here I have come to the end of my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sagar, for giving us such an interesting topic today. Now the floor is open for discussion. So any questions and queries are welcome.
Okay, let me take the first chance. Okay, that's a very nice paper of the first presenter. So, looking at the data that you have presented, you also mentioned towards the last conclusion that you have not looked into the prosodic feature. I was wondering whether the tone of the first syllable and the second syllable, whether they are of the same tone, or do you find differences in the tone pattern? That is one. And you also include in the second question is, you said onomatopoeia are not part of are not considered part of expressive. So on the morphological grounds, how would you separate? Is there a clear morphological pattern where you can separate true expressive from other like reduplication or onomatopoeia? Or looking at the data, it seems it's hard to differentiate on morphological ground.
Okay. By onomatopoeia here, I specifically mean those words which are either nouns or which are mostly nouns, and then it could be also verbs. But then the difference is that they are not used for sensory perceptions. Like the kaku example that I gave, the term kaku in Boro is kuo. It is onomatopoeia in nature, but then it is not expressive because it is just a noun, and then it's just the name of an object. It doesn't tell more about it doesn't evoke any sensation, any sensory perceptions. So those kinds of onomatopoeia I have excluded, but then those adverbs.
I got your point. So you mean to say that the distinction you are doing a distinction of onomatopoeia and other expressive on the basis of semantics, not on morphological ground.
Yeah.
Is there anything that differentiates on morphological ground, or are they the same?
In terms of just the form, the morphology, there might not be that distinction, but again, there are certain what differentiates them is their the syntax. So nouns, of course, they can take markers such as plural markers and also case markers, which is not the case with the expressives in these studies, which are mostly noun modifiers or verb modifiers.
So any other questions? Yes, we still have enough time for discussion.
Yeah. Okay, let me ask.
Yes.
Thank you for that very good presentation. In the beginning, somewhere you talked about markedness. You brought in the notion of markedness. So I was just wondering if you could.
Yeah. So markedness can be seen on various levels. It could be phonological or prosodic, and then it could be morphological as well. So in terms of the phonological markedness, I have given the examples of those idiophones that have consonant clusters as initials. So consonant plus liquid sound, l or r. That kind of initial is not found in other words, word classes in Bodo. So it is very much limited to just certain adverbs. This kind of consonant cluster in the initial position. So in a way, it is phonologically marked, and it can also be procedurally marked. Like it could have different stress patterns than the surrounding areas. If the surrounding words in a sentence are in low pitch, then the expressives could be in high pitch. And yeah, these are the ways in which expressives are marked.
Okay,
So
thank you.
Stand out, like on various levels, they stand out from the other usual prosaic words.
Sagar, what I just want to, it's not a question, but to supplement, when you talk about the markedness on your the consonant clusters with b and la or b and ra, I think even with any sound, like I come across in my language when we say bring means something that is very furiously burning or something, or brang is also possible. And at the same time, bala and bara is also possible. So it's something that we found it in our language also. Even in apart from TB language, even in Oriya also, they have a very like common phenomenon where you could see almost all the ra and la as a second element, and the voice sound as the first element. It's very prevalent in case of when we talk about idiophones. So that is just an input. So. Yeah. So any other questions?
Yeah, may I come in?
Yeah, please, please.
Yeah, thank you for the very wonderful presentation. It was really very good. So I just wanted to, know why you put the word tholtop as non-reduplicated. Because it could have gone to, reduplicated with C2 change. So
yes.
What is the difference actually? What is the criteria of taking it, into that non-reduplicate category? Yeah.
That's, I just realized, yes, it undergoes morphological reduplication. There is a change in the second consonant. Yeah, that is a mistake on my part.
Yeah, maybe actually it looks like one root actually. Maybe. Yeah.
Also, another interesting thing
That
is,
you
yes.
could have, any criteria. Yeah.
I think Uncle Mosel was trying to say something.
Oh, yes. In fact, I was listening to the presentation very intently because it strikes in my mind. I am not that much of knowledgeable to the technical terms, but the reduplication system, what Sagar has been presenting was very interesting for me to work on my own language. I am not a linguistics, professional linguistics, but I am a community linguist. So I am working only on my language. So that attracts me to work on what kind of reduplications. So I don't have any questions, but I have, I have a mind to request you because you have been hurrying at the last part of your presentation because of the time limitation. That can you make your own, recordings in your own of your own presentations of this paper and
Yes.
share with us.
Okay, sir. That is
share with me at least.
okay, sir. I will do it.
So that I can you can take 1 hour or more on your presentation, but I would like to take the reference of your presentations, whether correct or incorrect is the different thing, but to apply on my study to my language, it is very very interesting and very appropriate for me, I think, at this. So if you can do it, recording of your presentation and share the same thing to me at least. Okay, my email ID is available with Monali and Bobita Madam also.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So your time's up. If there is any questions, yes, we may take one. If not, we may proceed to the next presenter. Okay. Yes, any other questions? If not, then we'll go ahead with the next presenter. Okay. So thank you so much, Sagar. Now, I would like to invite Miss Priya Dev-Burman for her presentation. If she's Priya Dev-Burman, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, please do your presentation. Yeah. Your time starts now.
Hello, everyone. Good evening to one and all. My name is Priya Dev-Burman. I'm doing my PhD in Tripura University, and today just a second. So today the topic of my presentation is compounding, a process of word formation in Kokborok. So before I begin my presentation, I would like to briefly introduce about the Kokborok language. Koborok is a language of the indigenous people, mainly spoken in Tripura and northeastern state. Actually, ma'am, I'm facing some problem in my screen, on my screen.
Okay, then Bijan, can you please help in sharing?
Okay, ma'am, it's fine now.
It's fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Koborok is okay.
Please go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. Koborok is a language of the indigenous people, mainly spoken in Tripura and northeastern part of India. Few speakers are found in Mizoram outside the state and also found in the Chittagong Hill Trek of Bangladesh outside the country. Linguistically, this language belongs to a Boro-Garo subgroup of Tibeto-Burman language family and shares some similar features with Boro, Garo, and Dimasa. According to 2011 census, the total population of Koborok speakers is around 10,11,294. The speakers of Koborok refer themselves as Tiprasa or Tiprasa. G.A. Grierson in his linguistics J. Grierson in his book Linguistic Survey of India 1974 mentioned Koborok and its speaker as Murung. Robert Schaeffer, 1966 to 1974, made a classification of Sino-Tibetan languages. He divides Tibeto-Burman into 4 main groups, which include Bodic, Burmic, Karenic, and Barik. According to him, Koborok belongs to western units of the Berik section within the Berik subdivision of Sino-Tibetan. Berlin 2003 also classified Koborok under the subgroup of languages, which is a group of Boro-Koch part of Boro-Konyak Jingpo group of Tibeto-Burman languages. Koborok is an Azobi language where words are highly agglutinating in nature. The suffix occur in large number than prefixes in this language. This particular study focuses on compounding as a word formation in Koborok language. Compounding in Koborok is a very productive word formation where 2 free morphemes are combined to form one word. So in the next slide, I'll be discussing the objectives of this study. The objective is to know how the words are formed by combining 2 independent morphemes and to analyze the types of compound that are found in Koborok language. The methodology of this study is that data is collected mainly based on primary methods. So being a native speaker of the language, the data is collected from the self-source and later it is also cross-checked with the language consultant. For this study, the secondary data is also collected from dictionaries, book, articles, etc. So compounding is one of the type of word formation process where new words can be derived through the combination of free morphemes. Here, the words are formed without the help of any affixes. In Koborok, the types of compound is found. That is endocentric compound and exocentric compound. Compound in Koborok can also be formed with a word class like noun plus noun, noun plus verb, noun plus adjectives, and verb plus noun. Here in the example, noun plus noun. Here, Fung plus Sarik, which means morning plus evening. Fung Sarik, which means whole day. And cha bulai. Cha is tea, which is also noun in Koborok, and bulai is leaf, noun in Koborok, and cha bulai it means tea leaf. And in the example, and here in the another example, noun plus adjective. Nobar plus kotor. Nobar is noun and kotor is an adjective. So wind plus big, it means cyclone. Bukha kaham. Bukha is hard and kaham is adjective, which means good in English. And bukha kaham means good heart. Sal kuchang. Sal is noun, kuchang is cold. Sal kuchang means pleasant day. Mui sheller. Mui is curry and seller is lazy, which means python in English. Fung kaham. Fung is noun and kaham is adjective. It means a morning plus good, which means good morning in English. And here in the example, noun plus verb. Talk plus tui. Talk is noun and tui is verb. Bird plus leg, which means egg in English. Verb plus noun. Rung plus nok. Rung is learn, which is a verb in Kokborok, and nok means house, which is noun in English in Kokborok, and rung nok means school. Kokborok also have endocentric compound. Endocentric compound are those compounds which have a head. It can either be a right-headed compound or left-headed compound. The head of the word acts as the main referent of the compound. Right-headed endocentric compound. The head occurs to the right in right-headed compound. The compounds are created here through the combinations of nominal root, that is noun plus noun compound, where the first root modifies the second root, as in the example of wa-blai, which means bamboo plus a leaf. Here wa is an right-headed compound. My blai, which my is rice, blai is leaf, my blai, which means rice leaf. Here, so blai is a right-headed compound, and kwai blai. Kwai is battle and blai is leaf, which means battle leaf. And in another example, tok bahan. Bird, tok is bird, bahan is flesh, which means tohan, that is chicken in English. This bahan is an right-headed endocentric compound. Wak plus bahan, which means pig plus flesh. It means wahan. Wahan means pig. Sorry, wahan means pork here. I made a mistake. Pun plus bahan. God. Pun is God. Bahan is flesh, which means puhan. Puhan means mutton in English. This bahan is also right-headed endocentric compound in Kokborok. Mui plus bahan. Mui is curry, bahan is flesh, muihan means meat in English. And mutai plus nok, it means God plus house. Mutai nok, it means temple. Pal nok, pal is cell and nok is house. Pal nok means shop. Gai nok, gai is cow and nok is house. Gai nok means table. So nok is a right-headed endocentric compound. Tok plus nok, bird plus house, gai nok. Bizap plus nok, book plus house, bizap nok, it means library. Wak plus bufang, it means bamboo plus tree, wafang, which means a bamboo tree. Thalik plus bufang, banana, thalik is banana, bufang is plant, thalik fang, which means banana plant in English. Kwai plus bufang, kwai is battle and bufang is plant. It's kwai fang, which means a battle plant in English. Kum plus bufang, kum is flower, bufang is plant, kum fang, it means flower plant. So here in the example, this bufang, it is a right-headed endocentric compound. So from the above example, the two free nominal roots are combined to form nominal compound, where the second element acts as a head. In Kokborok, there is also another type of nominal compound which consists of verb plus noun, where the noun is modified by the verb and acts as a right-headed compound, as can be seen below. It means tong plus thai. Tong is noun and tong is verb and thai is place. Tong thai means place to stay or house. Chi thai, which means poop plus place. It means toilet or place to poop. Cha thai, cha is verb and thai is a place. Cha thai, it means restaurant or place to eat. Tu thai, tu is a sleep, thai is place. Tu is a verb here. So tu thai means place to sleep or bedroom. Achai thai, achai is a bird, which is a verb in Kokborok, and thai is place. Achai thai, it means a place of birth in English. Achuk thai, achuk is a verb and thai is place. Achuk thai, it means place to sit. Besides right-headed endocentric compound, Kokborok also have a left-headed endocentric compound. Left-headed endocentric compound are the compounds where the head occurs to the left. It is also modified by nominal compound, in which noun occurs in the left and acts as a head. The second element is modified by the first constituent element in the left-headed endocentric compound, as in the example, tok plus busa. Tok is a bird, busa is small, which means toksa. Toksa means chick in English. Tok plus buma. Tok is a bird. Buma means mother. Tokma, which means hand. Tok plus chila. Tok is bird. Chila is male. Tokla, which means cock. Tok bukrang. Tok means bird. Bukrang means feeder. Tokrang means feeder of a bird. So here in this example, tok occurs at the left. And in the another example, T plus quarter. T is a water, quarter is big, T quarter, which means flood. T plus ma, T is water, and ma is mother, Tima, which means a river in English. T is a water, and sa, Tisa means stream. And the next example, wa plus busa. Wa is a bamboo, busa means small, wasa, which means a small bamboo stick, usually used for weaving cloth. Wa plus rook. Wa is a bamboo and rook is string. Wa rook means a bamboo string. Wa bufang. Wa is a bamboo and fang means plant. Wa fang means bamboo tree. So here this wa occurs at the left. Yashi plus amma. Yashi is finger and amma means mother. Yashima, which means thumb in English. Yashi kotoi. Yashi is finger and kotoi means small. Yashi kotoi means index finger. Yashi plus bara. Yashi is a finger. Bara means short. Yashi bara means a short finger. So in the next example, kok plus love. Kok is language and love is to explain. It means kok love, which means poem or poetry in English. Kok tun. Kok is a language and tun is like to send. And kok tun means letter in English. Kokma. Kok is a language and ma is a mother. Kokma means a grammar. Kokma means grammar. And in the next example, ha Thai. Ha is a art. Thai is place. Ha Thai means hill. Ha chuk. Ha is art. Chuk means art or soil. Chuk means high or tall. Ha chuk means mountain. Ha dul. Ha is art or soil and dul is round. Ha dul means a round ball made with mud. Ha fang. Ha is art or soil and fang is tree. Ha fang means government. Thai plus chuk. So here this ha it occurs in the left and the next example, Thai chuk. Thai is fruit and chuk means high. Thai chuk means mango. And Thai pung. Thai is a fruit and pung means full. Thai pung means jackfruit in English. So cockroach also have exocentric compound. Exocentric are those compounds that are headless. The head does not modify the constituent element. As in the example here, kum butang. Kum butang. Kum is a flower and butang is line. Kum butang, which means garland in English. So in this example, it does not have. So here in this example, it does not have any head. Therefore, it is a headless compound. Bolong plus borok. Bolong is forest and borok is people. Bolong borok, which means terrorist in English. Mai mui. Mai is a rice. Mui is curry, and mai mui means food in English. Hambai. Ham is food, bai is sister. Hambai means thanks in English. Sun mung. Sun is like to ask something, and mung is name. Sun mung means demand in English. Rang chak. Rang is money, and chak is red, which means gold in English. And in the another example, sak is a body and kuplung is full, which means pregnant in English. And mui sheller. Mui is a curry. Sheller is lazy. It means python in English. Talk to. Talk is a bird and to is sleep. Talk to means dove in English. And Risha. Ri is a cloth and sa is small, which means a woven Tripuri traditional scarf. Sal thang. Sal is sun and thang is go, which means west in English. So from the example given above, endocentric compound are formed mostly with nominal compound, that is noun plus noun, and is less productive in nature than endocentric compound. A compound in Cockburg is mostly endocentric in nature. Endocentric compound can also be categorized into a right-headed compound and left-headed compound in Cockburg. In right-headed compound, the first root modifies the second constituent element. And in the right-headed compound can also be created through the combination of nominal root, that is noun plus noun and word plus noun, as in the given examples. Whereas in the left-headed endocentric compound, the second element is modified by the first element. Unlike endocentric compound, exocentric compound exhibits a few examples where none of the constituent element act as a head. Therefore, in Cockburg, endocentric is more productive than exocentric. So these are the references. So this comes to the end of my presentation.
Thank you. Thank you, Priya, for keeping the time within the designated time. Thank you. Now the floor is open for discussion. We can have 2 or 3 questions because we still have 5 minutes. Any questions are welcome now.
Can I?
I think Charlie raised his hand, so he can go
Yeah.
first, and then yeah, Uncle Mosul. Yeah.
Yeah. Charlie, please go ahead. Yeah, your questions.
Yeah. Thanks for the talk. So just to confirm, the only cases where you lose the first syllable of one of the elements is when you have the left-headed case. So you had several examples where you dropped the
Left-headed.
yeah, only in the left-headed. So right-headed, you'd never modify the first constituent.
Is it this one? Is it this slide?
Yeah. And so do you think this is a prosodic thing, like a stress pattern is causing a loss of that, like the buma to ma or basa?
Here in the example, tok busa. Actually, here this bu got eliminated, which means toksa, which means a chick in English.
Yeah. So do you think that's a due to the stress pattern or something else?
Here this busa here bu this it got eliminated and it becomes toksa. We can also say tok busa, but usually we say toksa, which means small chick.
I think
Okay,
this ba deletion is also occurring with the meat. The examples that she had, even with the right-headed, as in like chicken, mutton, pork, all the ba prefix was removed.
Oh,
Yes.
is that a
This
prefix?
thing.
Sorry, yes, the bahan, the ba prefix
bahan.
there actually. Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Uncle Musil, if you had something to say.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Um, uh, um, it looks everything is okay to me. Um, um, I would like to know if you have any, traditional historical background on naming the mango and jackfruit. I would like to see the slide of that naming the mango and jackfruit.
Yes, this slide.
Acha, Thai chuk, fruit high. How can a fruit at high can be a mango? That do you have any? Do you consider looking into the traditional, uh, you know, uh, history or something like that? That of jackfruit, fruitful. Is a,
Yes.
do you have anything like how it has come to, uh, uh, high fruit has come as mango and full fruit has become jackfruit?
Mm. Actually, in Kokboro, Thai means
Fruit.
fruit. So actually, it is butai. Butai. Bu is there, but usually we don't say butai chuk. But when we say Thai chuk, it usually means mango. And here, in the example Thai, it means it indicates fruit, and chuk is high. And same goes with the example jackfruit Thai. It is a fruit, and pung means like it is full. So that's why it is named as a jackfruit.
I think what Uncle Musil wants to know is why Cockbrook is identifying mango as in high fruit. So maybe that's what you mean, Uncle Musil.
Yes.
If I can add something here. Yeah, there is a traditional knowledge system actually, about our surrounding. So the fruit tree, which is high, that is mango tree. So that is the mango tree is high actually comparatively with other trees. That may be the case also. And the case with typhoon, that may be, like Pung is like full. If you can see the jackfruit, which is, bearing fruit, the fruits can, be in the, lower part of the tree also, or any part of the tree. You can see like that. So everywhere, bearing fruit everywhere like that.
Yeah, and it has multiple seeds inside the fruit.
Yes.
You can take the example of banana. The word for banana also, I think it is thylic or something like.
Yes, sir, it is thylic. Thai
Like
means fruit, and lick means it is like heavy.
Heavy, heavy.
Yes, sir.
Or in some languages, it is like garland. So the fruit, the fruits are arranged like a garland, like that. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
And the prefix where the b are there. I think someone, Charlie's or someone asked about this. Why b is there in it was tokcha?
Is it this one, sir?
This one. Not this one. Like small bird or the mother of bird, like that.
Yes, the chickens.
Yes.
Yeah, tok bacha. Here actually, this is tok bacha. Do you think that the left side is the head? I think tok is not the head here. Head is basa. Actually, sa is the head, and b is the third person marker taken, from that bird. This is a kind of, genitive construction, where the head is taken, the third person marker to relate with the head, or not head, actually dependent. Tok is the dependent.
Yeah, I think that is not noun adjective, that is noun and noun. So when you have noun and noun, it looks like it is right-headed. And when you have noun and adjective like bird and male, then it is left-headed. So I think Priya needs to revise the examples that you have given here once again.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, this kind of small bird and male bird and female bird, these are very common terms. It is used in every languages in the northeastern region, the Tibeto-Burman languages. It's okay. The small bird is chick, and mother bird is hen. So we used to call it mother bird and small bird, child bird, like that. It happens to most of the languages in the northeastern region. Yes.
I also want to add one thing, Priya. I noticed that you called exocentric compounds as headless, but when you see your data, they're actually internally headed. Just that the head and the modifiers are not may not be directly related. So just a little bit of correction with the definition or the description.
Oh, okay, ma'am.
Because when you say forest people, either one is the head, you have to decide, and you can between rice and curry. So internally, you can identify the head and modifier. So exocentric compounds are not headless, actually. So maybe you can, revise this.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you for the paper. Just one quick comment. Usually when we talk about compounds, we talk about endocentric and exocentric compounds.
Yes, sir.
But we also talk about coordinate compounds. And as the other participants have mentioned, if you look at many of the examples, they look like more like coordinate compounds, where both constituents actually contribute equally. So yeah, if you bring in the coordinate compounds, then maybe the classification would be more clearer looked at.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So, any queries or questions for the discussion?
In the present slide, Hambai, I have a doubt whether the bai actually means sister. So if it is sister, it is very interesting. Yeah. You can also try to find out why it is there. Sister is there.
There was also another word, I think in the first slide or second slide, the word for Python. That was a bit, interesting. Just like this, Hambai, that was curry plus
Lazy.
Is it muy plus seller, curry plus lazy?
Yeah, so what is the, I mean, how do you interpret that? How is a Python? Is it because I don't know.
Actually, in Kogborok, muy sheller, which means Python. So, like sheller, if we just divide these two words, muy plus seller, muy means curry in Kogborok, and seller means lazy. So, like in English, it becomes Python. The meaning becomes Python.
Yeah, but is that the literal translation that you're giving, or is it the coincidence that Mui means curry or seller means lazy? I mean, what is
Yes,
the
sir.
relation there? What is the relation there between Python and it being sort of curry and lazy? Or even the one above, sun and cold, giving you pleasant day.
Sal means sun or day, and like Kachang is cold.
I think is it Sal, is it sun or is it day?
Ma'am, it is both. Like Sal is sun or day in Kogbro.
So if your meaning is pleasant day, then the Sal here contextually will be day, not sun.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
So cold day is always pleasant day for people in Tripura, maybe something of that kind. So I think you need to see the context, like what Dr. Temsu has said. You have to see as in how the meanings are coming up, like they shouldn't be totally different. There must be some relation between, even if they are exocentric compounds.
Yes, ma'am, I will look into it.
Okay, now I think, thank you so much, Priya Tibeto-Burman, for your presentation. It was quite good. Now I would like to hand it over for the next this thing to the program coordinators. Over to you, Monali, Dr. Monali.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Bobita, for chairing the session very smoothly. And I thanks to scholars also who have given their presentation. And yeah, now I would like to request Dr. Monali Longmalai to kindly propose the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Bijen, for nominating me to give vote of thanks, and thank you, Dr. Bobita, for chairing the session. It was a very productive session, and we had very good presenters today, Priya Tibeto-Burman and Sagar Boro, who both presented on Boro and Kokborok, and it was very enriching for us. And we hope that we will meet again in the next presentation series very soon. In the coming weeks, we will notify it in the WhatsApp group and the Facebook page, as well as mail very soon. So thank you once again to all. Good night.
Good night.
Yeah, bye-bye. Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Good night.
Thanks.
Good night.